Hello, you absolute legends. Welcome back to the channel. John here on a murky old morning here in Lincolnshire. I'm at Drayton Motors Suzuki and KGM dealership in Boston to test drive and review a brand new car that I'd never heard of. In fact, I don't think you've probably heard of it either because it was only launched this week. It is called the KGM Actyon, which is a mashup of Act and Young, apparently. KGM Korean manufacturer. They are the new name for ssangyong. I haven't been paid for this video. In fact, I approached the dealership and said, "You got anything I can play with this week?" And they've said, "Yeah, have the keys to this," which is exactly what I have done. I've got it for the weekend, and in this video I am going to give you an honest test drive and review. We're going to look at all the features and the gadgets, talk about the car, and see if it's any good, because for $36,995 on the road, it's not a cheap car. But for a modern brand new SUV, full of whistles and bells, it's not a bad price point, is it? Is it any good? Well, we'll soon find out. So I've got the car home from the dealership, and you, yes you, in the comments, furiously typing as we speak, saying, "John, great, another Chinese EV SUV that nobody really asked for." I want to address that before we go any further. One, it's Korean. Two, it's got an internal combustion 1.5 litre turbocharged petrol engine. And three, well, yeah, it is still a bit of a slabby SUV. Joking apart though, that is seemingly what people want. In January 2025, the top three selling cars were the Kia Sportage, the Nissan Qashqai and the Peugeot 3008, all big cars. Seemingly people don't want small cars, which is good, because this is massive. It's 4.75 metres long and 2 metres wide. It's quite a heavy old thing too, but it doesn't look too bad, does it? At the moment, the model is only available in one trim level, the K50, available in black, blue, green, silver and white. I picked the black one because it looks quite mean. Yes, I'd like to just address the elephant in the room at this stage, which is it does look like the designers may or may not have taken inspiration from the Range Rover Velar. That might be a good thing though, right? The car's Korean heritage is built into this car. You can see the daylight running lights at the front there. They're inspired by the symbols on the Korean flag, which represent the sky, the earth, the water and fire. And the same at the back. Those lights are meant to resemble the Korean flag. To me, they look a bit trailer lightish. Under the bonnet then is this, where the magic happens, as my old dad would say. It's powered by a 1.5 litre turbocharged petrol engine. It's the EX-GDI model, which is currently used in the KGM Torres quite successfully as well. It produces 161 brake horsepower and 280 Newton meters of torque. In comparison though, this is quite a small lump for a car which is seemingly a big lump. It begs the question as to why KGM haven't fitted any other of their engines as an option in this model. They've got a perfectly good 2.2 litre diesel engine, but rumour has it, and you didn't hear it from me, they are also working on offering a hybrid edition too. Under here is also the 6-speed automatic gearbox. I think they could have probably done a bit more with this. Like I said in the introduction, this car on the road is £37,000. This is it. This is what you get. It's the K50. You pick your colour, but that is the trim level that you get. KGM is a budget brand, but they don't want to come across as cheap. And actually, arguably, I'd say that this car doesn't appear cheap. A whole host of standard goodies that you get as part of your 37 grand is as follows. 20-inch alloy wheels, rear privacy glass, electronic adjustment seats, heated steering wheel, heated seats all round, premium Napa leather seats, floating cockpit with wireless phone charger, rear window blinds, USB power inputs, an interior lighting package with over 30 different colours, electronic tailgate opening, power boot closing, and dual 12.1 infotainment screens with sat-nav and radio. And not only have you got a reversing camera, you've got cameras all the way around the car, which give you a full 360 view of the entire surroundings. The interior then is quite a nice place to be. Those Nappa leather seats hug me quite well, and I'm quite a girthy gentleman. The electronic adjust is nice and quiet and easy to use, and considering the car is 2 meters wide, it doesn't feel massive. One thing that does feel massive, however, is the steering wheel. It's reminiscent, in my opinion, of the Austin Allegro, and all your buttons appear to be here. It's worth noting as well that this is the first time that KGM have ditched their old ssangyong double dragon logo. Instead, in the steering wheel, it says KGM. They've really totally lost that ssangyong branding, and I, for one, I'm glad of that. The dual 12.1 inch infotainment screens do not appear to be distracting. The ride height, well, I've got 7 or 8 inches between my head and the roof of the car. So what's it like in the back then? Well, apart from appearing quite dark on this wet and murky Lincolnshire morning, it's not a bad place to be. I've got the seat mid forward. There's certainly enough leg room for the passenger there, and me being 6'3", I've got lots of space here now. My knees are not touching the back of these seats, and there's about 2 or 3 inches between my head and the roof. It does feel quite luxurious in the back here. I certainly wouldn't feel cramped on the day out. Oh, I've got a cup holder too, and a USB socket. Oh, heated rear seats too. You can open the tailgate by doing the hokey gokey. It's got a sensor underneath here somewhere. I'm yet to find where it actually is. It's a bit of a gimmick, that automatic boot opening by kicking your feet underneath. I've seen it in many cars recently, and I actually don't like it. But I tell you what I do like, the boot space. 668 litres in the back here. Not only can I get me, Mrs. John Coupland, and a whole host of inspectors in here, but, well, you've got a 60-40 split on the rear seats. There is more than enough room in the back here for whatever you need. You're mine. The bench seat does not fold forward, however these seats do, with a 60-40 split. They're as flat as you can expect. I genuinely have no qualms with the boot space in here, and the rear blind lifts out to give you more space. All the suitcases are in here. If you remove the boot liner, you've got this, which is a nice polystyrene cubby storage area. You've got warning triangles, toolkits, and a tyre inflator. Under here, however, well, you've got the space for an actual spare wheel. It doesn't come as standard, but you can check out some of that soundproofing as well. Look at that under there. I'm super impressed. That doesn't seem cheaply made either. Ready to go. It could be the best car in the world, inside and out, and it could be the best price point. However, if it drives like a tin of beans on wheels, then it's not going to be an enjoyable place to be, and you're going to soon regret spending your 37 grand on something that looks great but is horrible. Let's take it for a spin then and see what it is actually like on the road. So KGM are boasting the fact that this is meant to be very quiet, noise reducing glass. They've got noise reduction all over the car, and at the moment, well, yeah, it is quite quiet. I'm doing 25 miles an hour in town, and the road noise is minimal. There are bing bongs and whistles and bells and all sorts of stuff that are going on in the background, but it is a quiet place to be. Those Michelin sound reducing tyres on the 20-inch alloy wheels seemingly doing their job. We're going to go then over some potholes, over some speed bumps, see if there's any rattles and bangs. Well, apart from the bing bongs, no, there doesn't appear to be. Nice and quiet. The only sound I can hear is my hands on the steering wheel and the car alarm going off on that Corsa. The suspension over the speed bumps is a little bit firm, but it's not shake your teeth out firm. But driving it through town, nice and quiet, nice and easy. The speed bumps not causing me a major issue. The engine is a little bit revvy off the line, and that automatic gearbox is a little bit sluggish, a little bit slow. It's bing-bonging me to say that I'm coming up to a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit, but I'm doing 37. So why are you bing-bonging me? One thing I've noticed that I don't like is most of the car is controlled via the touchscreen infotainment system. If I want to turn the heating up and down, I'm touching a touchscreen, and I don't like that. I like actual knobs and buttons to turn them up and down. I get why they've done it, because it's obviously sleek and makes you feel like you're driving in something that's a little bit posher. But give me buttons. It's not as if you've lost for space, guys. Give me actual buttons to play with. I think it's safer as well. On these narrow old Victorian and Georgian streets, it does feel a little bit big. Now, there's no way in this short video that I can cover every single feature about this car. It's impossible, because actually over time you learn more things about the car that you're driving. So it's going to be an as-found road test. The features that I'm using at the moment, I've got the heated steering wheel on and I've got the heated seats on. I'm not burning my back with them or my hands. If anything, the heated steering wheel feels a little bit weak. The climate control doing a very good job, however, keeping the car to 25 degrees Celsius. The steering wheel feeling quite chunky, but the reason it's so chunky is so the cutout means I can see that infotainment system. There is no dead space, unlike when I was driving the Peugeot E3008. That little square steering wheel seemed to be in the way. In this, it doesn't. There's lots of space to see. The buttons on the steering wheel don't appear to be distracting, apart from these two little buttons that appear to be an afterthought at the bottom. One is for your favourites and one is for auto hold. It's to apply the parking brake when you're stationary. The driving position is good. The seats are nice and comfortable, that Napa leather doing its job, and the ride height, well, I've got probably 7 or 8 inches between my head and the roof. Now, I'm 6'3" and sometimes struggle with modern vehicles, especially when they slope at the back, but as we saw in the introduction and when we're looking around the car, my head doesn't touch the ceiling at the back either. Headrests nice and comfy. Armrest in the center console doesn't feel as plasticky as some of the other things I've tried out recently. The door cards don't feel scratchy. They're sort of a leatheretty PVC plastic, but they're not scratchy. And the internal lights, well, Mrs. JC set them to purple and auto, but they don't really seem to be my thing. I haven't tested out the sound system, but it sounds good. There are other driving modes available. There's normal, sport and winter. Now, I'm not going to put the car into sport mode, but from reading the brochure, it makes it feel a little bit tighter and the handling a little bit stiffer. Winter, obviously, is for winter driving. Okay, so I'm on one of the back roads now along the riverbank here. National speed limit 60 miles an hour. We are in Lincolnshire and they are horrible old rocky, potholy old roads, and the car is doing a good job so far. I'm doing 55 miles an hour and there's a bit of road noise from the back and the suspension, but it's not a firm or wallowy ride either. That automatic gearbox, well, it's a bit slow, but this is not designed for off-roading. It's not a four-wheel drive car. It is actually front wheel drive, which is incredible, really. Could there be a all-wheel drive version coming? I don't know, if I'm honest with you, but at the moment the K50 gives you front wheel drive. Okay, here we are, we're on the back roads, it's nice and safe, visibility is good, the car is ready to go, and I'm going to do a standing start. 0 to 60 is advertised at 10 seconds. I'm expecting it to be a little bit longer than that. Let's go. To me, that was 11 seconds to hit 60 miles an hour. That is my foot pedal to the metal. It wasn't sliding all over the place and obviously not driving like a complete lunatic in a car that I do not own and do not know. But it didn't feel quick. It didn't feel rip my wig off quick, but it's not meant to be. It's meant to be a comfortable family SUV. 33 miles to the gallon is what it's advertised as giving me. I'm not going to be getting that when I'm driving it like this. Those bing bongs and whistles and bells are it thinking that I'm on a 30-mile-an-hour road, when actually, well, I'm not. That's annoying, that is. I'm on one of the worst roads in Lincolnshire. Literally, that's not me exaggerating, it is one of the worst roads. Potholy, up and down and hidden dips. I'm doing 45 miles an hour. It is a speed limit of 60. However, the car is not throwing itself all over. It's not knocky and bangy, and the suspension is quite good. Bearing in mind I drive a smart car normally, that would shake me fillings out, but on this terrible old road, well, it's doing quite well. It's not loud, it's not rattly. Those tyres doing a good job. It is a bit wallowy, but well, it's designed to cushion that, isn't it? I certainly wouldn't want to be doing this speed, 55 miles an hour now, in a smart roadster. Whereas the bloke in his Dacia Sandero that's just gone past, well, he's managing to do 60. It's comfortable on the back roads. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it's certainly not dangerous when going over all these lumps and bumps. It feels good. Part of me wishes that KGM put a different engine in this, something a bit more powerful or a bit more exciting. The automatic gearbox I can live with. I would have probably liked to drive it with a manual as well. All in all then, the KGM Actyon is not bad. It's not a bad car. If I had £37,000 rattling around in my back pocket and I wanted a brand new family SUV, this would certainly be on my radar. My advice to you would be to go and speak to your local KGM dealership. Take one, test drive, and have it for a couple of days if you can. The amount of features that you get for the price point is impressive, and it doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel poorly put together. It's something that I would expect to be lasting 5 to 10 years before I wanted to get something else. And the fact that it's got that warranty, 5-year warranty or 100,000 miles, there's a little bit of a peace of mind there. Long term, I don't know how reliable this is going to be. I don't know how long KGM are going to hold a stake in the UK market and how reliable it's going to be, but well, that's just one thing to think about, I suppose. I think it's pretty. I think it's a bit big for what I'm doing, and I think it could probably do with a little bit of a nicer engine. I think a hybrid version is coming, but you didn't hear that from me. If you've enjoyed the video, thumbs up please. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you reckon to the KGM Actyon? Another SUV box that nobody asked for, or something that you are genuinely probably considering going and having a test drive with? Till next time, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Ding, 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 ding. I hope you enjoyed this latest car review. Let me know in the comments what you thought. I've selected a couple more videos from that sort of thing here. You might like those. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already done so to stay up to date with the channel.